Story: Shattered Sanctuary.
The rain was drumming a relentless, rhythmic tattoo against the panoramic windows of my living room, blurring the city lights of Seattle into streaks of weeping neon. It was fitting, really. The weather always seems to know when your soul is being ripped apart, seam by seam, stitch by stitch. I sat in the oversized velvet armchair, the one in that deep, brooding shade of emerald green that I had spent 3 weeks sourcing for this specific corner, and swirled the Merlot in my glass. It was a 2015 vintage, Julian's favorite. Or at least, it was his favorite when he was pretending to be the man I married. My name is Genevieve. If you look at my life from the outside, through the filtered lens of Instagram or the polite chatter at charity galas, you would see perfection. I am 38 years old, the owner of a thriving interior design firm called Sanctuary, and the mistress of a restored Victorian estate that has been featured in 3 different architectural magazines. I had the handsome husband, the successful career, and the wardrobe that whispered quiet luxury. But tonight, the house feels like a mausoleum. The silence is so loud it rings in my ears. And the ghost haunting these halls isn't dead. She is very much alive. Her name is Vanessa. And until 3 days ago, she was my sister in every way that counts, except blood. Let me take you back, not to the screaming match that shattered the windows of my reality this week, but to the beginning. Because to understand the magnitude of the knife in my back, you have to understand how deeply I let her in. You have to understand that I didn't just open the door, I handed her the keys to my kingdom. It started 6 months ago. It was a Tuesday, a gray and uninspiring Tuesday. I was in my office, buried under swatches of silk and linen for the Sterling project, a massive renovation for a tech billionaire's wife, when my phone buzzed. It was Vanessa. We hadn't spoken properly in 2 years, not since she moved to Paris to chase a whirlwind romance with a sculptor named Jean-Luc. Jen, her voice was a fractured whisper, barely audible over the background noise of what sounded like an airport terminal. Jen, I didn't know who else to call. My heart instantly constricted. That tone. It was the same tone she used in the 4th grade when she skinned her knee. The same tone she used in college when her parents announced their divorce. It was the frequency of the stress that bypassed my brain and went straight to my nurturing instinct. Nessa, what's wrong? Where are you? I pushed the fabric swatches aside, my business forgotten. I'm at SeaTac, she sobbed, the sound wet and jagged. He left me, Jen. Jean-Luc, he took everything. The money, the apartment lease, he even kept my dog. I have 2 suitcases and $40 to my name. I'm so ashamed. Stay there, I said, grabbing my car keys before my brain could even process the logistics. I'm coming to get you. Do not move. When I saw her at the arrivals gate, she looked like a broken porcelain doll. Vanessa had always been stunning, a chaotic, fiery beauty with wild auburn curls and eyes the color of stormy seas. But now, she looked gray. Her coat was frayed, her eyes were swollen shut, and she was trembling. I didn't see a threat. I saw my best friend. I saw the girl who held my hair back when I got sick at prom. I saw the woman who danced barefoot with me at my wedding. I drove her straight to my house. Julian was surprised, of course, but he was always the quintessential gentleman. He carried her battered suitcases up to the guest wing, the suite with the heated floors and the view of the Sound. Stay as long as you need, Julian had said, offering her that warm, charming smile that had made me fall in love with him 10 years ago. Genevieve's home is your home. If I could go back to that moment, I would scream. I would burn the house down before letting her cross the threshold. But I didn't know. I just poured her a bath, made her tea, and tucked her in like a child. "Thank you, Jen," she whispered, clutching my hand with a grip that felt desperate. "You have the perfect life. You always have. I just want to bask in your light for a little while until I can heal. You're safe here," I promised. The first month was actually wonderful. It felt like we were 22 again. The house, usually so quiet with just Julian and me working our high-pressure jobs, became alive. Vanessa was a fantastic cook. I would come home from the firm, exhausted and smelling of drywall dust, to find the kitchen filled with the aroma of roasting rosemary chicken and garlic. She would pour me wine, she would listen to me vent about difficult contractors. She was attentive, funny, and incredibly grateful. "I don't know how you do it all, Jen," she said one evening, sitting on the quartz countertop, swinging her legs. She was wearing one of my old silk robes. It looked better on her than it ever did on me. "You run a company, you manage this huge estate, you keep Julian happy. Aren't you tired?" I sighed, leaning against the island. "I am tired, Nessa. Exhausted, actually. The Sterling project is a nightmare. Mrs. Sterling changes her mind every 5 minutes. And Julian, well, he's been distant lately. Work stress, I think." Vanessa tilted her head, her eyes narrowing with sympathy. "He does look lonely, Jen. I see him in the mornings when you rush out early. He sits with his coffee and just stares at the garden. Maybe he needs more softness. You're so much like a warrior, always fighting battles. Maybe he misses the wife, not the CEO." It was a tiny pinprick, a subtle suggestion that I was failing my husband. But she said it with such love, such concern, that I took it as advice. "Maybe you're right," I admitted, feeling a pang of guilt. "I have been neglecting him." "Don't worry," she smiled, reaching out to squeeze my shoulder. "I'm here now. I can take care of the house stuff so you can focus on being his wife again. Let me earn my keep, Jen, please. I feel like a leech." "You are not a leech," I insisted. "But if you want to handle the grocery shopping and maybe coordinate with the landscapers, that would be a huge help." "Consider it done," she beamed. That was the beginning of the shift. Slowly, imperceptibly, the dynamics of my household began to change. I would come home to find the furniture rearranged. "The energy flows better this way," Vanessa would explain brightly. "Julian said he liked it." I would find my favorite blue hydrangeas replaced with red roses in the vases. "Blue is so cold, Jen. Red is passion. Julian said the house felt too sterile." Julian said. My husband, who usually barely noticed if I repainted a room, was suddenly having opinions that aligned perfectly with Vanessa's tastes. I tried to brush off the unease. I told myself I was being territorial, that I should be grateful for the help, but the atmosphere was thickening. One evening in November, I came home late. The rain was pouring, and I was soaked because I'd forgotten my umbrella. I walked into the foyer, shivering, dropping my keys on the console table. Laughter, low, intimate laughter, coming from the living room. I walked in. The fire was roaring. Julian was sitting on the rug, a glass of brandy in his hand. Vanessa was sitting on the sofa behind him, her fingers idly playing with the hair at the nape of his neck. They froze when they saw me. Vanessa's hand didn't snatch away guiltily. It moved away, slowly, casually. "Oh, look at you, you poor thing," she exclaimed, rushing over to me. "You look like a drowned rat. Julian, pour her a drink. I'll get a towel." "I'm fine," I said, my voice sharper than I intended. I looked at Julian. I didn't know we were having a party on the floor. Julian frowned, standing up. "Relax, Genevieve." "Vanessa was just massaging a knot in my neck. I've had a migraine all day. You weren't answering your phone." "I was in a meeting with the architects," I defended myself, feeling irrational tears prick my eyes. "I can't answer the phone every 5 minutes." "See?" Vanessa said softly, coming back with a warm towel and draping it over my shoulders. "She's so stressed. It's the business, Julian. It drains her. We need to take care of her." She spoke about me as if I were a patient, as if I were a fragile, broken thing that needed managing. And Julian nodded, looking at her with gratitude, and at me with pity. "I'm going to bed," I muttered, pulling away from Vanessa's touch. It felt like her skin was burning me. Later that night, lying in bed, Julian turned his back to me. "You were rude to her," he said into the darkness. "She's doing everything to help us. She cooked dinner, she organized my study, she even listened to me ramble about the merger for 2 hours. You haven't listened to me in months." "I am building an empire, Julian," I whispered, the hurt lodging in my throat. "I am doing this for us." "Are you?" he asked. "Or are you doing it for your ego?" I didn't sleep that night. I lay there, staring at the ceiling, wondering when my ambition had become a weapon used against me. And I wondered why Vanessa's perfume, a heavy, musky scent of tuberose and gardenia, seemed to be lingering on my pillowcases. The professional sabotage began shortly after. Vanessa had volunteered to help me with some administrative tasks at Sanctuary. "I have a degree in marketing, remember?" she had said. "Let me organize your digital files. Your filing system is archaic." I was drowning in work, so I agreed. I gave her the passwords, I gave her access to the client list. 2 weeks later, disaster struck. I arrived at a presentation for the Sterling project. This was it, the final pitch for the interior of their new $20 million Aspen chalet. I had spent months curating the mood boards, sourcing rare Italian marble, commissioning custom furniture. I stood at the head of the conference table, Mrs. Sterling looking at me expectantly over her designer glasses. I plugged in my laptop to the projector. "And now," I said confidently, "let me show you the vision for the master suite." I clicked the file. The screen didn't show the serene cream and gold sanctuary I had designed. Instead, it showed a chaotic, neon-colored mess of clashing patterns and cheap furniture. It looked like a circus exploded. Mrs. Sterling gasped, "Genevieve, is this a joke?" I froze. My blood ran cold. "No, this isn't the file. There must be a mistake." I frantically searched the folders. Every backup file was corrupted. The main presentation was replaced with this monstrosity. "I don't have time for incompetence," Mrs. Sterling said, standing up. "If you can't manage a file, you can't manage my home. Our contract is terminated." "Please, Mrs. Sterling, wait," I begged, humiliation burning my cheeks. "My assistant will be in touch regarding the cancellation fees." I drove home in a daze. I had lost my biggest client. My reputation would be in tatters. When I walked into the house, sobbing, Vanessa was there. She hugged me. "Oh, Jen, I heard," she cooed. "Julian called me. He's so worried about you." "I don't know what happened," I cried into her shoulder. "The files? They were changed, deleted." "Maybe you were just tired, sweetie," she suggested softly. "You've been working so hard. Maybe you made a mistake and didn't realize it. Burnout is real." Julian walked in then. He didn't look angry. He looked disappointed. "Genevieve," he said, "Mrs. Sterling called me. She's furious. She said you looked manic." "I was not manic," I screamed. "Someone sabotaged my files." "Who?" Julian asked calmly. "Who would do that? Your staff loves you. It's okay to admit you're overwhelmed, Jen. Vanessa and I have been talking. Maybe you need a break." "A sabbatical?" "You and Vanessa have been talking?" I stepped back, looking between them. They stood close together, too close. A united front against the hysterical wife. "We just want what's best for you," Vanessa said, reaching for Julian's hand. She didn't even hide it this time. She touched his hand, and he didn't pull away. That was the moment the glass finally shattered. I saw it, the micro-expressions, the smugness in the corner of her mouth, the way she stood in my kitchen, wearing my cashmere sweater, holding my husband's hand. She hadn't just come for shelter. She had come for my life. She was envious of the stability, the success, the love, everything she felt she had been denied. And instead of building her own, she decided to squat in mine. But I needed proof. Absolute, undeniable proof. I played the part. I wiped my eyes. I took a deep breath. "You're right," I lied, my voice trembling with feigned defeat. "Maybe I am losing it. Maybe I do need a break. I think I'll go to the spa retreat in Sedona for the weekend. Just clear my head." Vanessa's eyes lit up. "That's a wonderful idea, Jen. Go, relax. We'll hold down the fort." "We," she said. I packed a bag. I kissed Julian on the cheek. He flinched, barely, and hugged Vanessa. I drove to the airport. But I didn't get on a plane to Sedona. I rented a nondescript gray sedan. I drove back to the city, parked 3 blocks away from my house, and waited. I waited for darkness. It didn't take long. By 8 p.m., the lights in the house were dimmed. I crept through the side gate, the one with the squeaky hinge that only I knew how to open silently. I used my emergency key. The house smelled of steak and expensive red wine. My wine. I walked softly down the hallway. My heart was hammering against my ribs like a trapped bird. I could hear music, jazz, soft and slow, coming from the master bedroom. My bedroom. I pushed the door open. They weren't in bed. They were sitting on the chaise lounge by the window. Julian was unbuttoning his shirt. Vanessa was wearing the emerald green silk nightgown I had bought for my anniversary. She was laughing, holding a glass of champagne. "She's probably crying in a mud bath right now," Vanessa giggled. "God, she's so pathetic, Julian. She actually thinks she just lost the files. She has no idea I spent 3 hours rewriting that code." I felt the air leave my lungs. She admitted it. "She's been absent for years," Julian sighed, stroking Vanessa's hair. "I'm just glad you came back, Nessa. You understand me. You make this house a home. Genevieve just makes it a showroom." "We'll make her sell the company," Vanessa purred. "She'll have a breakdown. We'll commit her for a bit of rest, and you can take power of attorney. We'll sell Sanctuary, pay off your gambling debts, and move to Tuscany like we talked about." Gambling debts? My knees nearly buckled. Julian had gambling debts? Julian, the prudent financial analyst? The betrayal was a double-headed snake. My best friend was stealing my life, and my husband was selling me out to cover his secret failures. I didn't scream. I didn't rush in and slap them. A strange, cold calm washed over me. It was the calm of a general surveying a battlefield. I took my phone out and hit record. I filmed them for 10 seconds, enough to capture the intimacy, the conversation about the debts, the admission of sabotage. Then I turned on the lights. "The lighting is terrible in here for a conspiracy," I said, my voice steady, cutting through the jazz music like a blade. They scrambled. It was almost comical. Julian fell off the chaise. Vanessa spilled champagne all over the silk gown, my silk gown. "Genevieve," Julian gasped, his face draining of color. It's not what it looks like." "Oh, save it, Julian," I snapped. I heard everything. The files, the breakdown, the gambling debts. I looked at Vanessa. She didn't look scared anymore. She looked venomous. She stood up, the wet silk clinging to her body, and dropped the act. "Well," she sneered, her voice changing from the sweet, helpless friend to something guttural and raw. "Why?" I asked, genuinely curious. "I took you in, I clothed you, I fed you, I loved you." "Because you have everything!" Vanessa screamed, her face twisting into a mask of ugly rage. You always have. You got the grades, you got the talent, you got the money. I'm smarter than you, Genevieve. I'm prettier than you. But you just glide through life. I wanted to see you break. I wanted to see you lose. And you? I turned to Julian. Gambling debts? Tuscany? You're always working, Julian shouted, defensive now. You emasculate me, Genevieve. You make more money, you make the decisions. Vanessa makes me feel like a man. She makes you feel like a man by helping you steal from your wife? I laughed, a harsh, dry sound. That's not a man, Julian. That's a parasite. I held up my phone. I have it all recorded. The confession of corporate sabotage. The conspiracy to commit fraud regarding power of attorney. And, of course, the infidelity. Vanessa's eyes widened. She lunged for the phone. Give me that! I stepped back. Touch me, and I send this to the police and Mrs. Sterling right now. Actually, I'm sending it to Mrs. Sterling anyway. She hates liars more than she hates bad design. Jen, please, Julian begged, stepping forward, hands up. We can talk about this. Don't destroy us. You destroyed us, Julian, I said, looking at him with nothing but disgust. The love I had felt for him evaporated instantly, leaving only a hollow ache. Get out. This is my house too, he stammered. Actually, I smiled, a cold, predatory smile. It's not. I bought this house before we married. It's in my name. The prenup, which you signed because you were so sure of your own success, protects it completely. And since you just admitted to conspiring to defraud me, I don't think a judge will look kindly on you. I looked at Vanessa. And you have 10 minutes to pack your bags. If you're not out, I call the cops. And I will press charges for the digital tampering at my company. That's a felony, Nessa. You wouldn't, she hissed. Try me. The divorce was messy. Julian tried to fight, but the recording was damning. Mrs. Sterling, upon hearing the truth and seeing the time-stamped proof that Vanessa had accessed the files, was not only apologetic but furious on my behalf. She hired Sanctuary back with a bonus and used her high-powered lawyers to help me crush Julian in court. It turned out Julian had lost nearly $500,000 on crypto and online poker. He had been siphoning money from our joint savings for months. Vanessa had discovered it and used it as leverage to seduce him, promising him a way out if they liquidated my assets. They deserved each other. It has been 6 months since that night. The house is quiet again, but it's a peaceful quiet. I burned the emerald green chair Julian used to sit in. I repainted the guest room, Vanessa's room, a stark, cleansing white. I saw them once, about a week ago. I was sitting in a cafe downtown, reviewing blueprints for a new hotel lobby. I looked out the window and saw them walking on the other side of the street. They weren't holding hands, they weren't laughing. Julian looked haggard, wearing a suit that looked a size too big, his shoulders slumped. Vanessa was walking a few paces ahead of him, looking angry, gesturing wildly as she shouted something back at him. They looked miserable. They looked trapped in the hell of their own making. They had bonded over their shared resentment of me. Now that I was gone, they had nothing left but their own failures and the knowledge of what they had done. I watched them until they disappeared around the corner. Then I turned back to my blueprints. My coffee was still warm. The sun was breaking through the Seattle clouds, casting a golden light onto my table. I took a deep breath. It smelled like rain and roasted coffee. It didn't smell like gardenias anymore. Betrayal breaks you. There is no denying that. It cracks your foundation and makes you question your own judgment. I still wake up sometimes at 3 a.m., reaching for a husband who isn't there, or reaching for a phone to call a best friend who no longer exists. But there is a beauty in the rebuilding. When you clear out the rot, you find out how strong the structure really is. I am Genevieve. I am alone, but I am not lonely. I am the architect of my own life, and this time, I'm not giving anyone else the keys. Ladies, listen to me. We are taught to be nurturers. We are taught to open our doors, to fix broken things, to heal wounded birds. And that is a beautiful quality. But you must remember, not everyone who knocks on your door is looking for shelter. Some are looking for a place to light a fire. Trust your gut. If your husband suddenly changes his behavior, if your friend starts crossing boundaries, if you feel like you are being gaslighted in your own home, listen to that inner voice. It is screaming for a reason. Friendship is precious, but it is not unconditional. Loyalty must be returned, and never ever let anyone, husband, friend, or family, make you feel guilty for your success. You earned it. Protect it. If this story resonated with you, or if you've ever had a friend who turned into a foe, please subscribe to the channel. Have you ever experienced a betrayal from a close female friend? How did you handle it? Did you see the signs? Let's support each other. Write your story in the comments. You are not alone.